welcome back to Simply Home and Harvest. I'm Jen, and today I've got a couple of things I want to share with you. We are right in the middle of the fall season, my favorite time of year, and we're getting into the holidays, and there's just a lot of things that we're going to be putting on our calendars, might already be on our calendars, maybe gatherings in your home, or a lot of baking opportunities that you want to partake in. So I thought this would be a good time of year just to kind of do an inventory of our pantries to see what we need to stock up on. I just went to the grocery store a couple of days ago to Aldi and picked up a few things, which I'm going to show you here in a little bit. This isn't a grocery haul, but I just want to give you an idea of the things that you might want to think about stocking up on right now during this time of year. Now, prices are still climbing at the grocery store. I was in shock at our sweet little Aldi, who normally has the best prices, and how prices just keep going up there. Except for it seems like the price of eggs is coming down, which is different than it was this time last year. But anyway, all your flour, your sugar, a lot of your baking products are pretty high in price right now. But there's still things that we need in our pantries for this time of year. There was a lot of things that I needed to also stock up on. So I did a little modest stock up, if you will. I bought maybe like 2 to 3 items, maybe not even that many of items that I needed just to have on hand, but I want to keep my eye out and start checking prices. Normally in November, we're getting pretty close to that time of year, they will start to put like butter on sale, some of your baking items, sugar and canned pumpkin, and some of the canned goods will start to go on sale. So be looking out for that in your grocery store. And I'm just going to take you downstairs to our food storage down there and talk a little bit about the things that I'm going to be looking for in the coming weeks. And then also, I made a delicious butternut squash chili, and I'm going to share that recipe with you today. And let me just say, it was a hit in this house. I was a little nervous because, you know, I got some picky eaters around here, but we found out that butternut squash is not as bad as some people thought it would be, surprisingly. So that's something else I'm going to share with you today. I'm also going to be hosting Thanksgiving again this year in our home, so there's a lot of things that I need to get prepared for, and that's something else I need to sit down this week and really just make out a list, kind of get my thoughts together, and you might be in the same boat as well. So we'll just plan together, chat together, and enjoy a bowl of chili. Okay, so here we are in our downstairs food storage area. Now, we do have a pantry upstairs, but the reason that we have this space downstairs is because probably back in 2019, I know I've done a video on this before, but some of you probably weren't with me then, but back in 2019, I just kind of felt led to start building up a small inventory of food and necessities and things that we use on a daily, weekly basis. And I knew that I didn't want it to be like, you know, long-term years and years food storage, because we really just don't have the space for that. And I still just really didn't feel like that's what I needed to do. Not that there's any harm in that. If that's what you feel like you need to do, then by all means you do that. But I felt like what I really wanted to have for our family was about a 3 to 6 month food storage. And basically it's what we eat. So we keep canned goods, and we keep dry goods, and we keep baking items and condiments and sauces. I've got another shelf behind the camera that maybe I'll show you today, but that's full of items that we have canned, homegrown items that we've grown, and then we've canned and turned into long-term food storage. So again, we're not preppers, but we do like to be prepared, because you never know when you might not be able to get to the grocery store, or we've already walked through this a few years ago, when they're not around, when items are low in stock, and that is still happening in the grocery store. So it's just nice to have, you know, to be able to go, we call this our downstairs grocery store, but just to be able to go downstairs when, you know, the mustard runs out and we've got an extra bottle on the shelf. And typically what I try to do is, if I use an item, I want to make sure there's an item there so that I have it next time I need it. So I try to say 1 to 2 items ahead on the things we use. So for our toilet paper, we don't hoard toilet paper around here. I know some people do, but that's not us. But I buy our toilet paper from Sam's, and I like to say 1 pack ahead. So when I open up this pack and we start using this 1 pack of toilet paper that we have, I will go ahead and put it on my list because I know that pretty soon we're going to need another pack. Same with the paper towels. Now the paper towels, I could probably go through half of this and then add that to my list because we don't use that. We don't go through those as quickly as we go through toilet paper. Same thing with laundry detergent. I try to keep 1 on the shelf so that I know that I've got 1 that's available. And 2, I like to buy our laundry detergent and things that we use all the time when they are on sale. And that's really why I wanted to make this video, because things are starting to go on sale this time of year, or typically they do. I'm hoping that's the case this year in 2023, but you know what? We never know, right? So we do the best we can. Now, you might say, Jen, I don't have a shelf or a downstairs where I can store food, and that's okay. Do you have a box? Get a tote. Get a tote with a lid and just store it with a bag of flour and some, if you're a baker, some sugar and some oil and some oats. Just start somewhere, and that way you've got something that you can use to make food for yourself and for your family if you were in a bind and you could not get the items that you need. So we do have upstairs, and I can maybe show you that too, or I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll link that video of our upstairs pantry, but this house doesn't have a pantry. And I think that is such a luxury. If you have a pantry in your home, like a walk-in pantry or closet, oh wow, what a blessing that is. That is something that if I ever have another home, I would really love to have a pantry. So we kind of had to make our own, but upstairs we had a linen closet that we used for linens. But I thought if I could rework this and, store the linens in the bathroom or under the beds or something, for each person, then maybe I could use the linen closet. And so that's what we did. We turned our linen closet into our everyday pantry. So that's where I keep canisters of flour and sugar and spices and all the things up there. And then when I run low up there, that's when I come down here and get what I need and then restock the upstairs pantry. So I hope that makes sense. But that's the way we do it here. And since I've already done a video on this, which I'll link below, I'll just give you a quick look at what we've got on our shelves right now. And this is just a quick look at what we've got. I keep some extra sponges. Again, stay about a pack ahead of everything. And we know we're going to be making lots of soups and chilies. So I did make sure that I had, several cans of the beans that we would use for those. And I am running a little bit low on canned corn, but we do have corn in the freezer from our garden. So I'm not too worried about that. Some things back there, the sliced beets, I don't stockpile beets because that's something that I don't hardly ever use. But I don't even know how I accumulated that jar. But it's here, and one day I guess we'll use it. And then, I've got canned tuna there. Sometimes I have canned chicken. That's not something I use a lot, but I'll have that on hand just in case. Green beans, we are still today. Today is October the 19th. I got green beans out of the garden. I mean, we are just honored and amazed and just feel so blessed to still be getting green beans. But we'll, soon enough, we'll have to buy our canned green beans again. And then I've got some dry beans there, some soups, some evaporated milk. And then this is what will probably crack you all up. But I go ahead and stock up on pumpkin during this time of year when the stores have it in stock. Because, most of the time you cannot buy pumpkin year-round, but we like to use it year-round. So I'll go ahead and get, that's 12 cans right there. I'll go ahead and get like a box full every year, and it holds us through the year. We've got, I think I bought a couple already this year, so we probably had a can or 2 left over from when I bought it last year. So that's the way we do it. And then I keep our sugar and flour and everything in containers. So I've got a couple of bags of powdered sugar and a bag of brown sugar in there. And then I keep a little bit of dry milk because we'll make some, we're going to make some cream of chicken mix, some cream soup mix, and you'll need dry milk for that. So I'm going to show you that here soon. And then just an overflow of baking soda, baking powder, seasonings that we use a lot, Italian seasoning, cinnamon. Those are staples that you know, I always have those on hand just because I go through those spices a lot. And then we go through oats a lot. So I try to keep 2 quick cook oats and 2 old-fashioned oats. And I think we've got old-fashioned upstairs right now. So those are 2 quick cook oats. I've got rice. I keep that in the bucket back there. And, you know, just odds and ends. Some convenience items. Some pastas. I really do want to buy a pasta. That's something that should be on sale here soon. And then this one that's not labeled, that's birdseed. But I've got white sugar and bread flour, all-purpose flour. And then come down here and we've got paper products and feminine products and trash bags and Ziploc bags. And then this is overflow of flour, which I think there's 3 bags in there. So flour is something that I have got to stock up on. That's the front side of our shelf. Then here's a quick look at the back side. Nothing extravagant, just some odds and end cleaning products up there that I just had a few extras of, so I stuck them up there. And then, you know, we need to get a mayonnaise up here. I noticed that we didn't have mayonnaise, but I try to keep at least one, you know, on hand so that when we start using, like when I go to use the mustard, I'm going to put mustard on the list, but right now ketchup needs to be on the list because that is something we use more often and there is none down here. The same thing for salad dressing. Really don't use that too often. So, you know, we can, once we grab that bottle off the shelf, I'll just put that on the list. And then apple cider vinegar, we made our own last year. I don't know if I'm going to do that again this year because we still have quite a bit. So that's not something I've had to buy a lot of. I do need to stock up on spaghetti sauce. I think I'm going to make some homemade sauce and can it. But just, you know, we do homemade pizzas a lot. So I just try to keep our oils and broths and pepperonis, things like that, on hand. And then here's just some snack items. Cereal. I don't keep a whole lot. Some coffee. And then here's instant coffee we use for Cozy Coffee. And I'm probably making another batch of that soon. And then peanut butter. Some nuts and some chocolate chips, which my grocery store was out of semi-sweet chocolate chips. So that's something that I want to be on the lookout for because we'll go through a lot of those during the winter season. And we still have some peach tea left. Can y'all believe that? And then just nuts, chips, just to have on hand when the kids are looking for those things. So that's just a quick look. I will also show you this. I'll probably talk about this a little bit more in the future, but a family member was closing a business, had a refrigerator and in their shop and blessed us with it. Didn't need it anymore. And we've been wanting one to have downstairs for, you know, overflow and everything. So I'm excited to put this to use very soon. And then here's just a quick look at our canned goods and our canning supplies. Oh, and down here, I did get some onions and things that I try to store. We've got some potatoes left, some sweet potatoes. And also I noticed our red potatoes are starting to sprout. I can't quite reach those. But that's where I keep onions and potatoes and squash, all those things. As always, friends, I will have today's recipe in the description box below for you. I will have it typed out. Here's a quick look at the ingredients. I will give you a rundown as I add them to our chili, but you will need, of course, some ground turkey, olive oil, different spices, some tomatoes or tomato sauce, and of course, you'll need a butternut squash. So here's a look at me peeling, seeding, and dicing this butternut squash. This one was enough to make 2 chili recipes, so I'm only going to use half of it. But right now, Aldi has these for 59 cents a pound, which is a really good buy. And this time of year is about the only time of year that I see fresh butternut squash in the store. Of course, you can buy this frozen and already cut up. So that's a great shortcut if you don't want to go to all this trouble. Today I'm using my Dutch oven. You can use any kind of stock pot. And I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And then 2 cloves of minced garlic. I use the pre-minced garlic. Just go ahead and get that sauteed. And then you're going to add in a pound of ground turkey breast. Now I'm also going to add some minced onion here. If you're using a chopped onion, you'll want to do that at the beginning with your garlic. And we're just going to cook this over a medium heat, like I said, until it's brown. And then we're going to add in our butternut squash. Next, we're going to add 1/2 cup of chicken broth. I'm also going to add a 4.5 ounce can of green chilies. Next, we're going to add our beans and corn. So this is a preference for you. Add what you like. I'm adding some kidney beans, some Great Northern beans or white beans, and then I had some leftover black beans that I added. And then the corn that I chose to use in this recipe is white corn. You can use what you have on hand. If yellow corn is what you have, by all means use that. But for some reason, I think the yellow corn just gives it a little bit of a different taste, and it blends so well with the turkey and the butternut squash. Now I added in our own home canned chili base, but the original recipe calls for 2 cans of petite diced tomatoes and an 8 ounce can of tomato sauce. So that's what I use in place of the tomatoes and the sauce. Next, I'm going to add in our spices, which is some garlic powder, cumin, chili powder, a little bit of garlic salt, and then I salt and pepper this to our liking. Again, I will have all of this typed out for you in our description box below. Next, you're going to want to bring this to a simmer and then reduce your heat to medium-low. We're going to cover and then let this simmer and cook until your squash is fork tender. Now our crew likes to garnish with some shredded cheese. Tonight we used corn chips and a little bit of sour cream to top it off, but some corn muffins, some cornbread would be so good with this. This is a great way to add in vegetables without your family really knowing what's going on. The butternut squash was delicious. Everyone seemed to enjoy it, and we will definitely be making this one again. So just a quick look today at our downstairs food storage. I hope that this video inspired you to maybe build your own small food storage or your own pantry of some sort. And hopefully I inspired you to make that chili. So that's it for today. Until next time, remember to live simply, use what you have, enjoy the moments you've been given, and I will see you all in the next one.